Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you had a great game week 4 and a good week in general. The less I talk about game week 4, the better, because before the game week started, I was so hopeful of this team. My team was looking absolutely good. I had taken a hit to bring in João Pedro and Salah for, Saka and Dominic Solanke. The team looked absolutely amazing before the game week, but man, I mean, just this is absolutely this game week was absolutely horrible. I got 41 points, and then another 4 points got deducted because of the hit, so I was left with 37 points. I just thank God that I did not captain Salah, but it's absolutely horrible. Diego Jota got taken off at 59 minutes and 53 seconds, guys. That was the difference of 2 points right there. Diaz got 3 points, Jota got 1 point with a difference of 8 seconds. What can you do? Or 7 seconds, I don't exactly remember. I was watching Jota walk off, but he was like, I was thinking, why can't you just take a slow walk and extend your substitution by 7-8 seconds and you'll get 2 more points in FPL. But no, he was very quick to get off. But anyways, guys, I'm not gonna spend too much time dilly-dallying here. So I'm just going to let's talk about this week, which is more important. Milotaf, Yash, Neil, FPL Sum, welcome to the stream, guys. So Milotaf says, good morning, Wiz. Should I sell Haaland to DCL? I would not sell Haaland to DCL, bro. I would keep Haaland. Doesn't matter if he plays against Arsenal, but you just, if you have Haaland, you don't sell him for DCL. Neil says, morning, Wiz. Hope all is well. What a game week 4 without Haaland, 2.8 million. Oof. Without Haaland, it would have been absolutely tough, because if you look at my team, nobody else gave me any points except Haaland captain. If I didn't have Haaland, man, is even hard to imagine what this game would kind of look like. Maybe if you don't have Haaland, maybe you would have had Watkins, but you probably would have captained Salah, and it's just a very difficult game week. But we just look forward, guys. One game week doesn't make or break your season. It's the forward planning, it's the long haul, and it's the marathon game week, game week after game week that actually makes or breaks your season. So just keep making good decisions, and the good fortune will come to you. And that's always how I play FPL and how I think about FPL. We should always be positive with our decision making, and long-term thinking always helps. But in this case, for example, this game week, I don't need a long-term thinking, because I'm almost sure that I'm going to be wildcarding after game week 5. So when I'm going to be wildcarding, that time when I make my team, the thinking is going to be pretty long-term for the next 13-14 game weeks, I guess. So this week is just getting through this week with a decentish score. And the team looks all right. But the problem with my team really is, for example, I've got 2 players in Isaac and João Pedro who are kind of doubts, and their managers have already had their press conferences, and we still don't have any clear answers as to whether João Pedro is going to start or not, or Isaac is going to start or not. These 2 managers, the Newcastle manager and the Brighton manager, you can't trust anything that they say, because last game week you saw what happened, right? The manager could easily have come out in the press conference and said that João Pedro's come back with a knock, but he decided just to remain quiet. He didn't even say anything about João Pedro, and all of a sudden the team news comes and João Pedro is not even on the bench, and everybody's wondering what happened to him. And after the game he said that yes, João Pedro had a knock. Like, why can't you reveal this information if you're doing a press conference? Otherwise, I don't understand press conferences are for. Same with Eddie Howe. He doesn't reveal any information at all and doesn't give away anything. So yeah. This week, there's like, if you were on Twitter, there's lots of doubts about 3 players in my team: Jota, Joao Pedro, Isaac. Out of these 3, if you ask me, I feel Jota is going to be safe, or is the most safe, because if you see, the player who actually played well in Champions League is Gakpo, and Gakpo is going to take the position of Luis Diaz because Arne Slot wants to play him on the left wing. Jota is actually competing with Darwin Núñez. So actually Jota's position is more from threat from Darwin Núñez, who I don't feel showed anything out of the ordinary when he came on as a sub against Nottingham Forest, rather than just skewing or shooting waywardly. So I feel maybe Jota can start, and I'm hoping that we get some team news while we are streaming, so it will make my decision easier as well, what I want to do in this game week. Other than that, Joao Pedro and Isaac is just a roll of the dice. Anyways, now this is how my team looks like right now, guys. I haven't made any transfers, but just waiting for any news. Otherwise, I'm just gonna make one transfer. Probably move one of the forwards out to get in somebody like a Vardy or a Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But I'm waiting to see if we get any news on this. If you ask me the order, I feel Jota has the most chance to start, Isaac has the second most chance, and Joao Pedro in my team is the least likely to start. Bench Konsa or Robinson, says Lightrace. Hey Lightrace, welcome to the stream. I would bench Robinson. I would play Konsa. Fulham, I think they are going to concede. I don't think Robinson is going to get lucky every week, getting a fluke assist or here and there. I feel that Newcastle are, attacking wise, I think they are going to score goals. So as long as you feel that Robinson can get a clean sheet, I'd just play Konsa. He does go in the box, had odd chances to score, and Wolves are, one team you want to play your players against, no matter whether it's a defender, forward, or a midfielder. So I would play Konsa, Lightrace. Yash says Henderson, Trent, Porro, Robinson. I like that. Saka, Jota, Smith Rowe, Eze, Watkins, Haaland, Solanke. Any changes with after free transfers? Yash, I'm not sure when you are wildcarding. But this week I would have Salah in your team if it is possible to get him in. For Saka, possibly, So if you're wildcarding next week and you've got 2 free transfers, you can, kind of take a bit of a chance and bring in Salah for Saka and arrange the money by selling one of your players. Maybe, if you want to sell. If you want to have some one of the bench players where some money's tied up and you can free some money from there, I would possibly do that. Yeah, I would in your case I would possibly just get Salah with your 2 free transfers in place of Saka and captain him. Abhishek says, should I start Rodgers or Smith Rowe? I would start Rodgers against Wolves or Smith Rowe. Abhishek, I think I would start Smith Rowe, but because Rodgers, the thing is he's flatters to deceive every week. He gets into good positions, has a bad touch. Sometimes he'll get into a good position by his own dribbling and then get into a good position and shoot straight at the goalkeeper. So he's been flattering to deceive a bit, Rodgers, and unless he shows us some returns, it's always best to trust a player who has actually returned goals and assists in this game. So I would go with Smith Rowe. FPL Sam says, I'm taking a -4 and saving wildcard as team looked good, but I'm open for wildcard. Yeah, that's obviously FPL Sam, that's the always the bases. So if I need to make more than like 4 or 5 transfers to get to my ideal team, that's the time when I would possibly press my wildcard key. And the thing is, I will look at my team after tonight, and then kind of, if I feel that I'm going to wildcard, I'm going to pull the trigger early to catch some price changes as well, because lots and lots of people are going to be wildcarding this week, and it's always better to kind of pull the trigger early and catch some price changes in case you're kind of priced out of your ideal team by 0.1 later in the week. FPL Jug says, hey, how are we going to get some Liverpool leak? They play at 19:30. I'm just hoping, Jugs. I mean, there's been people on Twitter who've been saying that we might get some news or we might get some updates. So yeah, it's kind of, I'm not saying that we're sure to get some news. In case I don't get any news on Jota, I'm still going to play him. Then I will kind of think about just taking out one out of Isaac and Pedro, possibly Pedro, Joe Pedro rather than Isaac. The second approach I can take is maybe move out Harvard Bellis for somebody like a Konsa and put Konsa on the bench. So in case one of the players doesn't play, or I take kind of Ben Johnson out for Konsa and put him on the bench. So in case he doesn't play, one of the players doesn't play any minutes, I'll have cover on the bench, because actually the players have good fixtures, the ones which I have. But if I had to transfer out Joao Pedro, I would possibly take him out for Vardy or Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And if I had to transfer out Isaac, I would possibly take him out for Watkins. So that's the plan. But as of now, I really don't know what to do unless we get some team news. Any news on Isaac? No, not really news. I mean, he had a knock and he had some eye problem with the ball grazing his eye. So I think he should be all right. FPL Sam on our Twitter private chat also told me that it is Isaac's birthday. So that kind of adds an extra layer to the feeling that Isaac would want to start and score on his birthday if it is nothing substantial that he has. But also Isaac has the more tough game as compared to Joao Pedro. Because Fulham away is not an easy fixture for Newcastle. So, yeah. How many minutes do you think Joao Pedro... I mean, Abhishek, it's very hard to predict because their manager doesn't let on anything in the press conference. So he said Joao Pedro trained, but then we still got 2 days left. We'll see. He's got a late training check and this and that. So he doesn't give a clear indication, doesn't give a clear answer, just like Eddie Howe. We need managers like Ange Postecoglou, just coming and telling us what he's going to do, rather than managers kind of just coming to press conferences but not giving anything away. So Marco says, do you think a punt on captaining Trent is better than on Jota? Yes, Marco, I do think that, because Trent is definitely going to start and definitely going to play over 60 minutes until something horribly goes wrong in that Liverpool game against Bournemouth, as in for example, Semenyo scores a couple of goals in the first 20 minutes. But I don't, and it's all Trent's fault. I don't see him getting taken off before 60 minutes at all. And he's been unlucky not to get any attacking returns. He's been playing really well, Trent. So, and sometimes if you see last game week against Nottingham Forest, when Liverpool were losing the game, Arne Slot did not take off Trent. He actually put on Bradley and he pushed Trent into the midfield, although it did not work. But you see how Arne Slot values Trent Alexander-Arnold. So I think definitely it's more safe to captain Trent than is to captain Jota. Although I don't like to recommend captaining a defensive player over an attacking player, but Jota's minutes are the issue for me. And he played midweek as well. So, it's just you have to kind of put things into context or perspective as well. So FPL Jug says, if Isaac is confirmed out, is there any chance Gordon plays a false 9? No, I don't think so, Jugs. I don't think. I think Gordon is going to continue to play on the flank only. They've got this player, I think, what's his name, Osula or something like that. I think he is the one who might come in and get some minutes in case Isaac is out. I'm not sure if Wilson is still available or not. Wilson is not available, right? So I think Osola is the one who will come in and play in case Isaac is, and for your information, I don't think that Isaac is going to be ruled out. Even when he had a knock last week, or even he had this eye injury issue, he still played for 45 minutes, and then he was taken off at halftime. So I think Isaac has a good chance to play. That's my personal opinion. Also, best Muniz replacement, says Marco. I mean, if you're just going to take a 1 or 2 week punt, I think Calvert-Lewin or Vardy can be considered. So the thing is, let me just take you to Fantasy Football Fix here. As always, we thank them for supporting our streams and giving us the opportunity to kind of show these stats to you live. So if we talk about forwards, we put Calvert-Lewin here, and we put Vardy here, and we see. So Calvert-Lewin's got 22 points, Vardy's got 19 points. They've got similar minutes, similar bonus, points per game. And if you now see the shots, so you can see like Vardy's taken like 3 shots. They're all high XG. I mean, not high XG, but decent XG type shots, and he scored. Calvert-Lewin, on the other hand, has got many more chances as compared to Vardy. So out of the 3 shots, he scored 2 goals. Vardy, in my opinion, it's he's a clinical player. He's always been clinical. Vardy gets a chance, he finishes his chances, but it's not all that kind of clear. So 2 goals for Calvert-Lewin, 2 from Jamie Vardy, but Calvert-Lewin's XG is much higher, so he's getting more chances, better chances. 6 shots in favor of 3, obviously on target. Vardy's got 3 shots in 3 games or 4 games, and all 3 have been on target. 6 shots in the box versus 3. Calvert-Lewin has got 1 assist as well, and got more chance of assisting too. This thing makes me want to say Calvert-Lewin, but the problem is Jamie Vardy's at home, and then Calvert-Lewin's got this flag as well of illness, although I feel Calvert-Lewin is going to be fine. But these things actually make me want to go for Vardy if it is for 1 game week, and make me want to go for Calvert-Lewin if it is for more than 1 game week. So long term, I would prefer Calvert-Lewin because the fixtures are much better, and they're creating much more than Leicester. But 1 game week punt, I think Vardy can be fine. Isaac out for Watkins. If you don't have any other problems, I think this can be done. Unai Emery has confirmed that even though Watkins was seen with an ice pack after the Champions League game, but he said he's going to be alright. It was just a precaution. I think we can trust Emery because we've never known him to be a bluff, so I think Watkins should be fine. The only threat for Watkins now is that John Duran is starting to play really well. So Watkins might be off again like after 60-65 minutes to give some minutes to John Duran, especially if they're winning the game. That's the only threat. But unless you're not going to captain, Watkins, I think you can still get him in place of Isaac. But, if you ask me, I think Isaac should be alright to start, but it's just a hunch. I don't have any information per se. So yeah, Devendra says Watkins is the captain, Haaland, Isaac, I like that forward line, Jota, Bruno, Szoboszlai, Gordon. I don't like that midfield particularly that much because Szoboszlai and Jota are not a cover for Salah, bro. I would really ideally would want you to have Salah, but it's fine. Harvard Bellis again, last week he got 9 minutes. Before that he got 55 minutes, so no point in playing Harvard Bellis. Better to play, Ned Dekovic. So I would start. Start Rogers. Out of these two, I would start Saliba 100%. 100% start Saliba or Harvard Bellis. I would start Saliba. I got Mitoma and Joao Pedro. Should I start both of them or should I bench one of them for Smith Rowe? Beko, if I had both of them, I would possibly just start both of them. if you want to bench one, I would bench Joao Pedro and play Smith Rowe and Mitoma. But the thing is, Joao Pedro. So let me take you to this. Let me take you to this Twitter account of Jump the Wave. They do predictions every week of all the players, as I always show you on my streams. Right, this is a very helpful thing for me. I always look to this as to what the fans are thinking. Right, so I'm going to take you to Brighton first because there's lots of doubts. So if you can see, 67% of the people who or the fans of Brighton who actually voted in this think that Joao Pedro is going to start. And but the thing is, the sample size is a little bit smaller than other bigger teams. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So basically 3 people out of 9 don't think that Pedro is going to start, and 6 out of 9 think that he's going to start. Mitoma, obviously 100% of the people think that Mitoma is going to start, or 100% of the fans who voted. So I mean, Jorginho Reuter, where is he? Yeah, no, it's the same player. Anyways, I mean, 4 people think Reuter is going to start, and 6 think that Joao Pedro is going to start. Same way, let's go to the Newcastle ones. Liverpool is pretty much fine. By the way, if anybody owns Alisson Becker, you would have heard the news that Alisson Becker is going to be out with an injuries, and Kelleher, 100% people voted for Kelleher to start. City we already know. United. Yeah, here's Newcastle. So if you see here, 42% of the fans actually think Isaac to start. And so who is going to start in place of him? Maybe just like Juggernaut was saying, maybe Gordon can move on and play. Play false striker. Barnes can start on one wing and Murphy can start on the other wing. Tonali is primed to start now. 95% of the fans think Tonali is going to start. But they've got this Osula as well, so he can get a start, but none of the fans think that there's a chance for him to start. If you own Gordon, obviously it would be, I mean, I'm not sure if Gordon is better as a striker or a false 9 or whatever. Really Gordon is a winger, and the way he plays more suits him to play as a winger, but it doesn't hurt if you're playing further ahead. Spurs is obviously the only doubt is between Bentancur and Bissouma. Otherwise, all the players are clear. Sorry, didn't. Right. So these are the predictions for Spurs, Newcastle, Manchester United. If there's any other team you want to see, let me know. I'll show you that team. City, you all know it's all a mess, especially between Walker and Lewis. Nobody knows who's going to start here. Again, Savio, Kovacic, a bit of risk. Kevin De Bruyne is not going to start. He injured himself. Phil Foden is primed to start. 100% of the people, fans who voted think that Phil Foden is going to start. He played 45 minutes in the Champions League midweek as well. So that is something to go on. Liverpool team is fairly clear. Although 87% of the people think that Diogo Jota will start. And only 10% think that Hakpo or Darwin Núñez are going to start. So I think we should be pretty much whatever I told you beforehand is here. Brighton we already discussed. Brogan is starting. What else is interesting here? Anyways, I'm just coming back and answering. Look here. 93% of the people think that Watkins is going to start. Rodgers 100%. Konsa 100%. So yeah, it's Arsenal. The only doubt I think is going to be between Jorginho and Partey. Martinelli and Trossard both are going to start, so there's no doubt. Gabriel Jesus I don't think starts. Anyways, let's go back and answer your questions now. Yes. Yash says, for bringing in Salah, I have to take out Jota. I'm thinking about Salah for Saka, Elanga for Jota. I'm wildcarding. I think that's fine. If you want to get Salah, there is no problem in taking out Jota for Salah, in my opinion. Elanga is fine. Minte, if you can get him is fine, or some other player in that price range is all right. Elanga, got a tough game against Brighton, but if you want, you can take him out. Bring him Elanga, but won't give you too much. doesn't even start the game sometimes. Hey Wiz, I still have Muniz. Should I use my one free transfer to replace him? Yeah. Zara, I think you can replace him if you want, because last week he didn't start. Raul Jimenez started. So I would replace him with somebody like a DCL or a Vardy. Long term, if you want to replace him, I think DCL is a better option than Vardy. But if you want to replace him for one game week and then you want to wildcard after game week 5, then I think Vardy can also be an option. Azmir says, hey, Wiz, a bit late to the stream. What's your transfer plans looking like? Is Joe Pedro and Muniz starting risk? Yeah, they're both starting risks, Azmir. There's no doubt about it. Hey, Wiz, do I drop Palmer for Salah? My transfer plans, I'm waiting to see if we get any news about Jota starting, and then I'm going to make my decision whether I want to take out Joao Pedro or I want to take out Isaac. Do I drop Palmer for Salah? I think yes, Abhijit. If you can, I think you should. If you have the money, I think you should. Captain Salah as well. FPL Jack says Jesus started in the UCL. Yeah, he started in the UCL, but he was taken off and he was not impactful at all. You know, he didn't play. I mean, the entire Arsenal team didn't play well at all against Atalanta. The only player who actually got some credit was David Raya after making a beautiful double save on the penalty. But otherwise, nobody played well. So Jesus was hooked, I think, after some 50 odd minutes, and I think he was replaced by Trossard. So I don't think he starts against Man City. I think Arteta will revert back to playing Trossard as a false 9, Havertz in the midfield, Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, and the backline of Julian Timber and Gabriel Saliba, Ben White, flanked by Saka and Martinelli. I think it's a fairly obvious team for Arteta. The only change I think Arteta which he can make is maybe replace Thomas Partey with Jorginho, but again they both lack pace. Jorginho lacks pace and power both. Partey lacks pace. So let's see what happens. What's your prediction for Manchester City versus Arsenal? I think light race is going to be a tight game. It depends on how the game starts and which team starts to dominate at the beginning. But I think it's going to be a cagey, tight game, especially Arsenal, who've already had 2 tough games in the week. I mean, they played Tottenham, then they went to Atalanta and played in the Champions League on a Thursday. First time this new format is coming, the Champions League's games are now going to be held on Thursday. Earlier they were always on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Now Champions League is now also going to be held on Thursdays. So Arsenal travel all the way to Italy and back again, so they get less time. But I still expect the game to be cagey. If you ask me which team is going to win it, I think Manchester City has more chance to win it than Arsenal. But I think Arsenal will try to kind of contain City and try to hit them on the set pieces or counters. That's all they can do. But City are not as susceptible to set pieces as Tottenham were. Yeah. Todd says, hi, hey Todd, welcome to the stream. I answered your question as well, Todd, which you asked in the comments. So I wrote a pretty detailed a post on that. So please do give it a read, and I hope you're doing well. Todd says you just answered. Yeah, I think Havertz will play in the midfield. Arteta, because Havertz works so hard, Arteta, I think he values Havertz so much. Playing him in the midfield, and up top I think it could be Trossard, it could be Jesus. I feel it's going to be Trossard though, but let's see. Juggernaut says that penalty save was out of this world. Absolutely. I mean, I remember Arsenal fans last season clamoring about whether Raya is a better keeper or Ramsdale is a better keeper, but Arteta just brought in Raya on loan from Brentford and stuck with him, and just put Ramsdale on the bench, even though he'd had a fantastic season one season before, but he was ruthless in improving that position, and he brought in Raya, he started Raya, and now Raya has won over the fans. Like, all the Arsenal fans are now, he's won them over, and Ramsdale is now actually not even in the club. Abbas Arora says, sell Muniz or Pedro to DCL, or upgrade Sangare to ESR. Abbas, it depends whether you're going to be wildcarding next week or not. So if you're going to be wildcarding next week, then I think it makes more sense to sell Muniz or Pedro, to DCL, because upgrading Sangare to ESR only makes sense if you're if this is a long-term plan, because this week ESR doesn't really have a good fixture. It's Newcastle, so it's not an easy fixture. So if it's just a 1 week punt, then go with DCL. If it's a long-term decision, then you can consider ESR. Although even for the long term, I think because Muniz is now a risk from Raul Jimenez, I think it's always better to sell him for a DCL who's got good fixtures coming up. So yeah, I think upgrading Sangare, can wait until later. Abhijit says, okay, Viz, thanks, I will. Cheers, mate. I hope you make the right decision. FPL Sam says zero news. So if there's no news, then we're gonna have to make our own decisions, guys. I'm just waiting and waiting, and just waiting for any kind of news to pop up, kind of from like somebody like Lazy FPL or somebody. A really would help. I'm not able to see anything on Twitter as of now. I can't. As of now, guys, there's no news, because I can't see any. Yeah. I can't find any news. Let's see. No, guys, I'm sorry. I as of now there's no news. Let's wait and watch for some more minutes, and then we'll make the decision as to what we want to do in our own team. Meanwhile, let me answer your questions. Is Havertz a good shout from next week onwards? Havertz is a great shout, man. He's one player which is not going to go out of this Arsenal team. So when all the other players are available, Havertz is going to play as a striker, and when the players like Odegaard, Declan Rice, they are not available, he is going to be moved into the midfield. I mean, if you watch the game against Spurs, he works incredibly hard for the team, up and down, just running all the time. I think Arteta really values him as a player, and he always wants him on the pitch. So, and he's got a threat on set pieces, he's got a threat on, essentially when Arsenal build up from the back, then also Havertz is always, making these late runs into the box. I like him. I think he's a great option. And Arsenal have 3 good fixtures coming up from starting game week 6 as well. So yeah, Azmir says DCL or Vardy for this week. My leaning towards Vardy for nostalgic purposes. He's an FPL legend. Yeah, I mean, if you want to post Vardy party, gifs on Twitter, definitely Vardy is better. Stats wise, I think this season DCL has been better. Vardy's just been clinical, but Vardy's always been clinical. You're always kinds of puts away these 0.3, 0.4 xg chances. That's how clinical he's always been during his heydays. And I think he's going to be all right. I mean, if you want to pick him for 1 week, I don't see any issues with that. But Everton is going to be struggling really hard, fighting really hard after losing 2 games, after scoring 2 goals, and then losing the games against Bournemouth and Aston Villa. Sean Dyche is in real pressure, and he's going to be trying really hard to win. So yeah, I mean, long term I think DCL is the better option, but nostalgic, yeah, you can pick Vardy for 1 week. I don't think there's an issue with that, bro. Great selecting. No, let me ask Spion Cop, see if he knows anything. Do you expect Jota or Darwin to start today? Let me ask Spion Cop on Twitter. Let's see if he replies, and I'll let you know. Guys, Lazy FPL has posted that he appreciate all the new follows, but he won't get any early team news. Still, you might enjoy. Yeah. Yeah, so Lazy FPL has said that he's not going to get any early team news for today. So we're basically on our own unless somebody else gives us the news, and we're gonna have to make our decisions. Geeta says, "Hey, just joined late and no updates at all this week. I have Isaac and Muniz and no balance in the bank. Please guide what to do." This is a tough one, my friend, because if you had some balance, then I would have recommended you to move to somebody like Watkins from Isaac, but this for right now, I think Muniz to Dominic Calvert-Lewin can be done, or Vardy. I think that's better. Navneet says, "Hey Wiz, this is my team: Henderson, Trent, Porro, Robinson, Eze, Rogers, Salah, Garnacho, Haaland, Isaac, and Muniz." I would recommend transferring out Muniz, my friend. I would transferring out Muniz for Vardy or DCL if you want, or even Welbeck. By the way, all those people who have been recommending DCL or Vardy, you can even keep your eyes on Welbeck. Guys, so I asked Spian Cop this question. Hang on, you know what? I should not be. I'll just show you on Twitter. I think that's better. Just a second. So I asked him this question that, do you expect Jota or Darwin to start today, mate? He says, I'm expecting Jota. So yeah. Let's just thank him and get back. So he's expecting Jota to start. So that is one problem out of my way. So if Spian Cop tells me that he thinks Jota is going to start, then I will I will keep him. And then my only option now is to move between like Joao Pedro or DC and Isaac. Or the third option is to kind of just, because I want these two players to play, to keep both of them and to upgrade Johnson to Konza. I will wildcard next week then. Yeah, you can wildcard next week and still you can take advantage of this one transfer this week, because I don't expect Muniz, because the thing is Muniz plays in midweek as well. So it's always better to kind of put the odds in your favor. If you have a decent bench cover for Muniz, then you can keep him. Otherwise, you can move him on. Will Hall be starting? He started last week. This week, hard to say, Subhajit. Hard to say, but I think he should. Abhijit says, "Hey Wiz, I have to take 2 free transfers to put Salah. I'm thinking Palmer and Isaac out. Who's a good striker?" The good strikers this week to get are somebody like, I think, a Welbeck. Obviously, you can't get Watkins because he's more higher priced than Isaac, but Watkins, Welbeck, DCL, and Vardy. These are the ones to kind of choose from this week. Any other forward options beside DCL and Vardy? Again, Azmir, Watkins, and Welbeck as well you can consider. Double Palace defense and Jota. Panic wildcard. I don't think so. No. There's no need to panic wildcard here, my friend. Double Palace defense is alright. I mean, you never know. These games are always cagey between Manchester United and... What about Chris Wood from Muniz? I mean, he plays against Brighton. It's not an easy game, Navneet. That's the thing. What to do with Bruno? I would keep him. If you're wildcarding next week, then I would keep him for one more week. Isaac to who will be good? Isaac to Watkins, Isaac to Vardy, Isaac to DCL, or Isaac to Welbeck. These are the options. You have to kind of weigh up how much money you have and which kind of striker do you want to bring, but these are the ones which will be good. What to do with Bruno? I mean, if you are wildcarding soon, then keep him. If you're not going to wildcard pretty soon, then I think it's a good option to move him on. One week punt for this week. Jamie Vardy. Maybe you can take a punt on somebody like Watkins, if you have the money. Watkins is a long-term option, but a 1 week punt will be good as well. Vardy is the 1 week punt. DCL could be a 1 week punt as well. These are the like Brighton fixture I really like, and Liverpool. If you don't have 3 Liverpool players already, you can punt on somebody like a Robertson. You can punt on somebody like Shoboslai, just different from the rest. That's a punt. We just thrashed Barnsley, so we are definitely losing to Palace. I mean, Barnsley is a different level. Scoring 7 goals, especially Rashford coming back into form. It's nice to see that. But you never know what happens in the Premier League. 3-0 win last week was good for United. So confidence against Southampton. Let's see how it goes. It's hard to predict United at the moment, especially with Ten Hag at the helm. It's just hard to predict. How are we doing? Hey Jeff, I hope you're doing well, my friend. Can I send you my team on Twitter and you'll have a look? Just send your team here, my friend. Hard to look on Twitter. We've got like 20 minutes before we make our own transfers as well. So it's always better to kind of just write your team here and I'll answer your questions if you have any. Bench Saka ahead of Rodgers and Smith Rowe. I would not, Himayu. If you own Saka, I would not bench him ahead of Rodgers and Smith Rowe. There's just different level of players. Saka's on penalties. Saka is on free. Sometimes he even takes free kicks. So he's on corners definitely from one side. So if you have Saka and if you're keeping Saka, there's no point in benching him, my friend. Not ahead of Rodgers. Smith Rowe also doesn't have an easy game against Newcastle, but if I own Saka, I would not bench him. A 10 million player on the bench doesn't make sense to me. These games are KG. Yes, Saka will get 3 points, but then, Saka has a ceiling. Saka can kind of give an assist or, probably score a penalty. You never know. Sanjay Patel says, hi Wiz, are you keeping Isaac and Joao Pedro? I have the same dilemma while cutting next game. Sanjay, I might move one of them on. And if I had to move one of them on, I think it's going to be Joao Pedro. I will keep Isaac. I think he's got more chance of starting as compared to Joao Pedro because we don't have any. One more thing I would like to show you for all those people who own Joao Pedro. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I'm just going to show you because I actually, where is that? I actually retweeted this as well. So Team News and Team News FPL has got like 8,000 followers. He said that Joao Pedro completed full training yesterday without feeling any pain or issues. He's in the squad for tomorrow and is in contention to start. So this was the tweet that I retweeted, but we don't know the source because this guy hasn't quoted the source here, so we don't know what is the source. But so it's up to you to kind of decide whether you want to keep Joao Pedro or not. But yeah. Let me see if I have some message. No, that's... Yeah, let's wait and watch. Start Harvard Bellis. He scored last week. Who scored last week? Harvard Bellis? When did he score? He played 9 minutes. Am I mistaken? You mean in the Carabao Cup, huh? I didn't even watch Southampton's Carabao Cup, to be honest with you, mate. I'm gonna have to check. So last week in the Premier League, he played 9 minutes. Howard Bellis, that I'm sure about. Let me check what he did in the Carabao Cup against Everton. It was right. Yeah. Yeah, he scored in the Carabao Cup, 32 minutes, and Doucouré scored for Everton. It doesn't make a difference to me, to be honest with you. If I was you, I would not start Harvard Bellis. That's what it's. He played 55 minutes in game week 3, 9 minutes in game week 4. Yes, he scored in the Carabao Cup. It's not the same though. Or to get Porro or Konsa. If you have one free transfer, you can get Porro or Konsa. I think they're both good long-term options. But if you're just looking for a 1 week punt, then start Harvard Bellis. Then I don't care. Jug says he did score in the car. Yeah, I just checked Jugs. Somehow it skipped my mind because I was more concentrated on the Champions League games. I did check some Carabao Cup results, but Southampton, because I don't really consider any players from Southampton, I never checked it. CAV says start 2 from 4. Hey CAV, welcome to the stream, man. I hope you're doing well. Jeff Johns, I'm sorry, CAV, let me answer your question first and then we'll get to John's question. Right, so start 2 out of from these four: Gibbs White, Saka, Wood, Lewis. I would start. Saka and Wood, I guess. I would start Saka and Wood. Difficult ones. Yeah, this is a tough one. Hard to kind of. Now let me get to Jeff John's question first. So he's got Henderson, Matthews. That's a second keeper. Robinson, Porro, Konza. So you're benching Guardiola, right? Salah, Eze, Emil Smith-Rowe, and Rogers, and Isaac, Haaland, and Solanke, right? So I have 2 free transfers and 1.5 in the bank. I think you're good enough to roll your transfer. If you want to make one transfer, you can actually update Isaac to Watkins, mate. I think that'll kind of give you a boost. You know. So I would possibly, if either you can roll your transfer, that's obviously an option which is open. But I would, if you want to make a transfer, I would possibly upgrade Isaac to Watkins, just because Isaac is a doubt, although I feel he's going to start, you know, but if you feel he's a doubt or you want to kind of upgrade. But remember, Watkins is also going to kind of get 60-65 minutes. If they're winning comfortably, I think he's going to get taken off for somebody like a John Duran. So, yeah. Right, let's move on. We've got some questions to contend with. Samaksh says, which striker to choose for FPL? Jimenez, Evan Nilsson, Nketiah, or Ndiaye? I think Evan Nilsson, because he's, you know, I know he missed a penalty, but I think he's Bournemouth's only striker, really. You know, he's gonna at least play all the minutes. He's gonna get, you know, chances and stuff. Nketiah, he played really well for Palace last week, but he's just reliant on kind of, you know, open play goals. He's not on set pieces, nothing. So Ndiaye is alright, but you know, Everton are currently just bad. So I would go with Evan Nilsson here. Let's move on. Hi Wiz, I've got 2 free transfers, planning to do wildcard 6, so planning to take a few punts today. See guys, one more thing I would like to tell you. This wildcard is not like the earlier wildcards. You don't need to take punts, because you can move your free transfers and you can save them for after your wildcard, right? So it is not like you're going to lose your free transfers, so you have to take a punt before the wildcard. That idea or that notion came from the fact that after your wildcard you would lose your free transfers previously, but now you're not going to lose your free transfers. So it is not a necessity that you should take punts before your wildcard. You know, just remember this. Andre, it's not even my name. Thoughts on Onana? Onana is fine, mate. I think it's good. You know, again, last week he got 13 points. Not every week. United against the smaller teams, I think they can keep clean sheets, but you know, I think they struggle against the top 4 or 5 teams, I guess. Thoughts on Fernandes to Luis Diaz? Babin, I mean, you can if you want to, but again, you know, I mean, you can do it. If it's a punt, you can do it. CAV says thanks, was leaning towards Gibbs White for Pens and Wood, maybe less minutes. I mean, that's the thing, you know, that I was a little bit confused between Wood and Gibbs White as well. But yeah, I mean, you can go with Saka and Gibbs White as well. It works. For me, I was just thinking that, you know, he's a striker, so, you know, get some chances to score. But yeah, it's just kind of touch and go. Just like you say, probably not much in it. Afternoon, Imran. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great season. What's up, mate? What's going on? Abhijit says, I'm going for Palmer and Isaac, Vardy and Salah. I don't, you know, I mean, obviously Palmer to Salah I like. Isaac to Vardy is just, you know, as a 1 week punt, it can work. But just hard to kind of recommend transferring out Isaac. Zondrix says, is Havertz a good transfer in for Isaac? If not, who should I get in for Isaac for someone who is the Havertz? Zondrix, the thing is not a good transfer in this week, but he's a good transfer in for the long term. So this week, I'd recommend you to just keep Isaac. And if he doesn't play, then let your bench players come in. This week is not the week to get Havertz, in my opinion. So just keep Isaac, I'd say, and see if he plays. Then you won't even need to transfer him out. Hey, we'll start FaZe or Saliba. I would start Saliba, George. I mean, the thing is, it could be a 0-0 kind of game between City and Arsenal, and it's not like Wout FaZe offers any. Like, he did score a header, though. I give you that. But I'd still prefer Saliba against City. There's more chance of a clean sheet there. Maybe attacking returns, I guess, not for Saliba, more for FaZe, but clean sheets, I guess, Saliba. I have Winks on my bench. Should I play? I mean, I would not play Winks, no. It's more like a 2-pointer. TA starts. Where CC infield inside. Alright, we've got some news on Trent. Guys, hang on. Guys, Spine Cop is saying he's expecting Jota to start. Robertson also to start. But Diaz, he says 50-50 because of Cody Gakpo. Just like I told you. So remember this. Trent Alexander starts. I don't follow this guy. I'm not even sure if he's... It's finding it hard to... Just give me a second, guys. I'm trying to find out. Vardy or Diaz. This is a difficult decision, Abhijit. Very difficult decision for me to... consider. Just a second, guys. Alright. You missed my Solanke question. I'm sorry. Where is the question, Jugs? I'm sorry. I still have Solanke, Viz. Shall I chuck him in for some? No. Don't chuck him, bro. Play him. If you have Solanke till now, play him. Play him. I mean, he was good against Arsenal as well, Solanke, he actually had a couple of really fantastic opportunities to score. Play him, bro. I would play him. Just a second, guys. My DMs are getting full of questions. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Not to be answering questions on the stream. So yeah, could just go from Wood to Vardy DCL. Then I think that's a good option, CAV. Especially if you're wildcarding soon. I think that's not a bad option at all. Jota starts. Who is this guy? Guys, there's one guy called James Watland. I don't know who he is. Is @ James Watland on Twitter, but he's saying that Jota starts. I'm not, guys, again, I'm not saying I trust these sources, but I'm just telling you what I'm reading on Twitter, right? So Jota starts, he says it's @ James Watland on Twitter. Vardy or Welbeck? If it's a 1 week punt, you can go with Vardy as well, Navneet. Because Everton have got like jokers in defense. They just concede too many goals from crazy situations. So if they're still playing Keane, I would go Vardy over Welbeck. Evan Nelson or Semenyo? I would go with Semenyo. I would go with Semenyo, yeah. Yeah, I already answered that. So guys, I'm just looking at Twitter. Last look on Twitter. So basically, Jota is not an issue. Because everybody's saying that Jota is fine. Spian Cop said Jota. This James Watland guy also said Jota. I don't know who he is. I don't trust him. But I've never seen his account before. But So Jota I'm going to keep. Now to decide between Joao Pedro and Isaac. You know, because Isaac was not in training pictures, you know, if I had to transfer one out of Isaac and Joao Pedro, I would possibly it has to be Isaac, because Isaac has got a difficult fixture as compared to Pedro, right? So I'm thinking if I'm not going to transfer out Jota, I can transfer out Isaac. Second option is obviously to kind of upgrade one of my defenders and leave them there if in case Joao Pedro and Isaac both do not start. That's the basic question in my mind. But I guess because I'm going to be wild carding, there is no point in updating my bench at this moment in time. So you know, and there's no point in sitting on the fence as well. It's better to kind of make the transfer. So I'm going to be transferring out Isaac. I guess for Watkins, because I have the money, I can do it. Why not? Wolves are not a really good defense anyway, so. Azmir says last question was no worries, mate. I'm here to answer your questions. You can ask me as many as you want to. As long as the questions are relevant, I always answer them, bro. Trent, Guardiola, Saliba, Robinson. You have to bench one, right? I would bench Saliba. Out of them. Because Guardiola again, last week he played 45 minutes, but I don't expect him to play 45 minutes this week, you know. So I would Robinson against for his attacking threat. You can play him over Saliba. Trent, there's obviously no doubt as to who you should start Trent there. So guys, what do you think? Isaac to Watkins works? I think it's a fairly. I have no Salah. Captain Watkins over Haaland. The problem, Lars, I mean, I'm not saying that it's an issue, but the problem with Watkins is you know, it tends to get taken off at 60-65 minutes, especially, you know, he played 60 minutes in the Champions League, scored a goal. So, you know, he played really well in the Champions League as well. Watkins. But, yeah, I mean, if you want, you can captain Watkins. I mean, technically, Lars, it would be better if you could get Salah in your team, because I think Salah is a standout captaincy option this week. You know, but if you can't, then yeah, you can do that as well if you want to captain Watkins over Haaland. I mean, technically speaking, you know, if I did not own Salah, I would captain Haaland only, you know, like, if anybody scores against Arsenal, maybe it has to be Haaland. If I was sure about Watkins' minutes, for example, let's say if Watkins was playing, I was sure he would play 75 minutes, I would say yes, captain Watkins, but difficult for me to say that. Haaland, I know, is going to play 90 minutes against Arsenal because, you know, he's the only striker now they have, so he played in the Champions League as well, and now he's going to play here in the Premier League against Arsenal as well. I'm planning to wildcard next week, Samaksh. Luis Diaz from Liverpool, he should play, yes, but he does have competition from Cody Gakpo now. I went for Vardy, removed Muniz, hope Isaac starts. If he doesn't, Winks will come in for me next week wildcarding 0 point. That's fine, Navneet. That's fine. I mean, Vardy again. Vardy party is gonna happen, so yeah. I was thinking about Watkins because you know, he's been in good form. Wolves again don't have a really good defense, so one week before, you know, just play Watkins and then wildcard kind of works for me. I went for Vardy and yeah, I already answered that. Right, guys, 5 minutes to go. I guess it's time to make my transfers. Isaac to Havertz, not for this week, my friend. Really want Watkins for this game week. I'm short 0.4 million, so we'll have to make 2 transfers. Getting in Watkins for Isaac and Luis Diaz for Saka. Then, if you don't have to take a hit, then you can do this. Tagging you in my Wardy Party appreciation post. Thank you, Azmir. I'd love that tag. So definitely. So yeah, guys, I made my transfers. My vice captain is Haaland. My captain is Salah. First on the bench is Harvard Bellis, just because I found out that he scored in the midweek in Carabao Cup, so why not expect a bullet header from Harvard Bellis off the bench when Joao Pedro doesn't start? And I'm looking into my crystal ball and kind of making some predictions here. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a bench, so if any of my players now misses out, it has to be Harvard Bellis to come in for a 1-pointer. I'm fine with that. Next week wildcard, guys, so I'm going to be activating my wildcard tonight after the games are over, and I'll keep updating you on my Twitter as to what transfers I make, so that I'll catch some price rises early, especially for the players I do want on my wildcard, and I'll keep you updated. Obviously, Gabriel will definitely come in on my wildcard as an Arsenal defender. That's the first player I will bring in. I will bring in Saka as well. Arsenal got 3 good fixtures coming up. Fixture swings, have to be targeted. So anyways, that's for later. Neil Peterson says, a game week 5 rolling 3 free transfers for game week 6, planning Saka to Palmer. I think Saka to Palmer needs to be done in game week 6, mate, because game week 6 actually Arsenal's fixtures become really good. So you actually should think about getting Arsenal players. Maybe you're saying Palmer to Saka, and then I'll agree with you. Used my 2 free transfers, Isaac and Gordon, out for Watkins and Rashford. Why? Jugs, you were expecting, you were hoping for Gordon to play false 9, and now you just took them out, mate. I like the transfers. I'm not, Rashford obviously has been in better form. He's been improving. So yeah, I understand where the transfer. Replacement for what? Guys, you look at the timer on the screen, only 1 minute 45 seconds. Please lock your teams. I'm reminding you once again, please lock your teams. So, replacement for what? Who? I don't understand the name, Thakif. Watkin? Why do you want to replace Watkins? I don't understand, Thakif. Ask the question quickly, bro. You don't want to be fidgeting around with these hamsters in the last minute of the transfers. Thakif, what is the question? Mate, you're gonna miss the deadline the way you're doing. 1 minute left, guys. Please lock your teams. I'm not gonna be answering any more questions now. Only Thakif. I'm waiting for Thakif to say something so that I can answer him, but otherwise I'm not gonna be answering much. 50 seconds. Lock your teams. Don't have enough money. Replacement for Watkins. For who, bro? Which player do you want to replace? Isaac? Gordon toothless playing on that. I agree with that. Gordon is toothless playing on the right. Thake, which player do you want to replace, bro? Hurry up, mate. It's 30 seconds left. We won't have enough time to make your transfers. 26 seconds. Salah better cook. He will cook. If he doesn't cook tonight, man. Absolutely. Thakif, it's deadline, bro. 15 seconds to go. Do whatever you have to do. Make your transfers. Or actually, don't make your transfers now. But you won't be able to get the player in anyway. So just leave it now. We don't need to. We don't want to be. I'm ready for a big fat red arrow. It's gonna be alright, bro. You always find some ways to kind of make up. Maybe Shobushla is coming up with a hat trick today, and everybody's gonna be congratulating you in the private group tonight. You always find ways to kind of make things work. I know that. Your punts are gonna work. So guys, deadline. It is deadline. I'm going on to Twitter to see if we actually got any more leaks. Nope. No leaks. Any more leaks. So the ones which we actually discussed are the ones which we actually had. Don't even know. No. No news, guys. No news is good. Arne slot starts. Oh, come on. People are just actually fooling around. We don't need to. We don't need this. Anyways, I want to. George says Captain Watkins. In the end, I feel this week is a good week for the captaincy split between Haaland. I think it's not going to be a split, George. As long as people own Salah, I think all of them will captain Salah. Yes, it's different if for those people who don't own Salah, they are the ones which will be looking to kind of captain alternates. I want to chuck Jota, but since he's starting, I wanted Rashford in. I mean, we don't have the confirmation from a reliable source, but yeah, a couple of sources saying that he does start. So yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Have a good game week. Let me go cut the grass. Keep well. Cheers, mate. Neil, great having you here. Enjoy your day, and I hope you have a great game week 5. So guys, I'm gonna be taking your leave as well. Yesterday I had a procedure done on my big toe joint. I got a couple of steroid injections into my big toe joint on the foot. I guess you have to pay the price for being active sports, active in sports all your life, and these things come to bite you back later. And I had been struggling with a foot injury for 1 year, and finally got some steroid injected into my big toe joint. And so yeah, just gonna go and rest before the matches start. So I wish you all have a great game week 5, and I hope you just prepare for your wildcards. I'll keep you updated, guys. For anybody who wants to stay in touch, just follow me on Twitter. I post my transfers on Twitter. I'll post my transfers on my YouTube channel as well. If any of the regulars on our channel is want to be a part of a private Twitter group that we are in, just always connect with me on DMs on Twitter, and I will add you to that group. So with this, I take your leave, guys, and make sure to leave a like on the stream. It really helps to increase the reach of the stream. I will see you next week for next week's wildcard special deadline stream. Till then, take care, have fun, and may the arrows be green. Cheers, everyone. Bye bye.